U.S. Treasury yield curve is bouncing this morning, especially in the belly of the curve. So what does that mean? Well, we've got the 2-year up 5 basis points, the 5-year up 4, the 10-year up 1, and the 30-year down 1. You go way on the short end in the notes, and the yields haven't moved that much. That belly of the curve between the 2-year and the 10-year, let's just call it the 2-year and the 5-year, is really where we're getting that yield curve bounce. And that's causing stocks to be a little bit mixed. As I speak to you right now, the Dow is just below the flat line, the S&P is just above the flat line, the Nasdaq's up about 0.1%, and the Russell is down a little bit less than 0.5%. The dollar is also reacting. The dollar is stronger against all the majors. And some of this might have to do with yields bouncing off of where they're bouncing off of, but also the dollar in the aggregate bouncing off of strong support after 3 consecutive days of rallies. And as I speak to you right now, that is hurting the hard commodities like gold, silver, and copper. They are all lower. Crude oil is higher by about 1% right now. So that's the mix in terms of yields, commodities, and stocks overall. Today we've got quite a bit of Fed speak, and that will matter quite a bit after all of the data we've gotten between PPI, CPI, even the payrolls number last week. Today includes Fed Vice Chair for Supervision Michael Barr, Philadelphia Fed President Patrick Harker, Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester, and Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic. Now, looking ahead, earnings season is really starting to wind down, but we still have 8 companies reporting earnings today after the close with market caps over $1 billion, including a couple of important ones, specifically Applied Materials and Take-Two Interactive. Tomorrow before the open, we have $4 billion companies, including the lodging group H World and RLX. Speaking of earnings, Walmart had blowout earnings, and they actually showed a lot of improvement in terms of their customer base in higher income people, which may point to a little bit more consumer inflation than we're seeing in the CPI. Data tonight, industrial production and retail sales and employment data in China. Tomorrow, Japanese industrial production and foreign direct investment in China, EU inflation, and in the US, the Conference Board's leading index.